I'm going to show what happens when Rocky the squirrel climbs up on top of that transformer. You see Ron, anytime Ron covers his ear, that's a good sign that Rocky's allowed noise. Let's see what happens when when Rocky the squirrel climbs up there, causes a fault. You can see Ron in a shovel or post hole diggers or an excavator digging into the line. It's the same in concept. It reaches the ground, it comes in contact with the ground source and causes a fault. Another loud noise here. Let's see what happens when somebody digs into this. See again, that cutout door blew didn't go out. Cut any trees or anything like that. Always look up. Look up, and it'll keep you alive. Make sure there's no power lines in the area. Make sure that there's nothing in the area nothing up in the area that the tree can come in contact to. Because this is what happens when that tree falls over in that primary line. When a contact like that occurs, it can generate up to 36,000 degrees in 1/6 of a second. And electricity is always looking for that path to ground. If you watch the bottom of the tree, that's where a person will be to install anything that's metal like that. Let's see what happens when it contacts the power line. Again, look up. Make sure there's no power lines when you're handling that ladder or you're setting up that pole. And if you watch the bottom again, no different than the tree, what you'll find is you watch that. Let's see what happens when a person is exposed to a contact. Involved in electrical contact. I spent 3 months in intensive care, had 19 surgeries. They told me I'd never walk again. I can actually go into a lot of detail on the medical side, and it's because I learned the hard way. Many hours talking to the doctors. To be blessed and live through a direct contact, I also fall into the 2% of people out there that have nerves that rejuvenate to some degree. That's why you see me up here walking around. I had a 3-month-old child when I got injured, and he was over 6 months old before I got to see him again. I had 4 kids actually. He was the youngest. They're all within a few years of each other, like stair steps. And so then I had a wife at home. I've been married for 18 years, still wonderfully married and love my wife. But I had a wife at home that had a husband in the hospital for months, trying to take care of 3 children, 1 a newborn. And make a long story short, going into a lot of detail, my accident was preventable. I really was the guy who said, I'm only going to be there for a minute and it won't happen to me. And because of those 2 things, I didn't put in some very basic safety procedures. And because of that, I nearly paid for it with my